first off, you guys were at KCON this weekend. You did the random play dance yesterday, I believe. So first off, how did that go? How was it, seeing fans and everything?
It was kind of unbelievable. I don't think, for me personally, I wasn't expecting a lot. But when the time came for the RPD and there were so many people, I was kind of like, what? That's kind of crazy.
It was kind of like that Avengers scene where we were setting up for the area for the random play dance, and then we see this huge mob of people come over and meeting people who I didn't think would recognize us, just saying hi and being so genuinely kind, and of course dancing with them.
It was really heartwarming, not only because of the fans who showed up, but for the organizers or the members of the team, the dance team that helped organize the event. They put in so much work, and when our song Forever came out in the random play dance, there were a couple people dancing with us, which was really wholesome.
Shout out Team BUK.
Yes, it was really fun and interesting. Also because it was our first official event together as Rewind. Because we've done things or had little events just individually. But also it was weird and new to experience people waving at us. I was like, wait, is there someone behind me? I would be hesitant to wave back because I'm like, what if it's someone next to me or something?
Exactly.
So I was a little bit is that for me?
We'll get into the album a little bit, but I will say after this album, you will definitely have more people doing that for sure. I'm obsessed. But with the RPD and everything, were there any dances that you were rushing to learn ahead of time to make sure you were on top of it?
100%. I think Eddie just he's the dancer, so he knows a lot. He knows a lot. He's very quick. So he had a lot that he could just learn on the spot, and he was ready. Me, I take a while. So I had to brush up on some ones that I kind of knew. It definitely was. It was a little stressful for me because I'm not I don't be dancing like that. But it was fun.
What did you guys have the most fun with in terms of songs?
I really like doing gnarly, especially.
Gnarly was iconic. How about you, Lay?
Yeah, the boys saw me practicing this one song over and over again, a song called Adrenaline by Gravity, and I think both of us had a lot of songs that we probably learned a couple of years ago, ones we hadn't pulled out in ages, so it was, it was a little bit of a mad dash to get those back in our memories. It was really fun.
Most rookie K-pop groups, they're living together, they're living in the same dorm, same city at least. But for you guys kind of being spread out, outside of the Rewind activities, what is your kind of daily lives like? Because I know Lay, at least, I mean, you're still in school, right? Because you have the a cappella group, correct? Or just tell me a little bit about your daily lives currently.
Yeah, for me, personally, so I've graduated university in the US. However, I'm blessed with the opportunity to also be involved in a professional vocal group at Berklee College of Music. So that's been really great for, I guess, my personal growth as a musician and as a huge a cappella nerd. But it also kind of bleeds into Rewind because through that group as well, I get to keep my kind of vocal health in shape, and there's so many things I'm learning, and I get to bring those back to all the activities we do here.
I just graduated from my university this last spring, so that's just been really exciting. And right now I'm kind of in a phase of my life where I'm dipping my toes in a lot of areas, so I'm very lucky to have had a lot of opportunities in the film and TV industry, so maybe heading towards casting management, we'll see. And I'm developing a passion for the music business as well, and this Rewind group you may have heard of has been a great opportunity for me as well. So I'm just kind of honestly very excited to be in this pivotal moment in my life while having these guys next to me and meeting every couple months to just focus on our mission. So we're gonna keep doing that.
For me, I'm in hopefully my last year of college. Right now I'm a clinical psych major. And hopefully after my spring semester finishes and I graduate, hoping to get my master's. Yeah, that's my current life right now.
Especially with you doing clinical psychology and everything, you've got to make sure the health, the mental health of the group is pulled together.
That's definitely his role for sure. He's definitely the person that checks in the most when all of us are apart from each other.
All of us are definitely there for each other all the time. Especially when we're together, we're always like, how are you feeling? Are you okay? Like, what's going on? Like,
Little
let's
life
talk.
updates.
Yes,
Yeah.
like, we always have
Let's
like
talk
little,
about it.
Yes, exactly. We always have little moments on the couch or on the floor, and we'll just like be talking for hours.
When you guys debuted, when it officially came out, Forever, music video, everything, what was the reaction of your family and your friends when they saw, like, wait, they did it, they finally debuted?
I think, well, my parents were really proud, and all of my friends were like hyping me up and like posting it all over and being like, stand rewind, like, you know, and I think my dad didn't realize like how much we were putting into it. He mainly just saw me coming to LA and then doing some recordings in my closet, and I think he thought that like the final thing was gonna be just like very homemade and not so much as we put into the final product. So I think he was very surprised and very pleased and looking forward to our success.
Yeah, I think as a parent, it's very easy to be apprehensive or a little bit skeptical about opportunities like these, like whether we're recording in a closet or like even if you do join like a big label, it's always it's hard to believe it until it comes out, right? So my mom was also like that, but then once the music video came out, she was sharing it to all of her family members, to all her friends, and like a lot of coworkers. And one funny story is that she has a dance class that she goes to weekly, and they started using Forever as a warm-up song every single week. So
Every week.
So my mom's stretch class knows the song very well.
For me, a lot of my friends have been trolling me, so whatever moment they get, they just connect to whatever speaker they have, or they just blast like Reset, or they just say ready, set, go. It's just not that I'm getting tired of it, it's just a jump scare for sure. And my family as well, they didn't really comprehend the scale of this until they actually saw the final product and everything. And there's actually like a video of my grandparents reacting to the Forever music video, and like the room's pitch black and their jaws are like open like this, like, and then the thunder booms on their face in the intro part. Like you just see like their faces flash. It was hilarious, and everyone's just been very supportive, and they've been loving this new album as well with their sneak peek. So
Yeah, they'll have a lot more tracks to listen to with Reminisce, which I want to get into now. What was kind of like the timeline for preparing and recording these tracks? Was it done all at the same time as Forever and Reset, or was it kind of separate?
Forever and Reset we had filmed and recorded back in January, early January, and for this EP we had still been writing and working with the producers on the new tracks up until around, is it May, June? May is where we mainly all had to individually go into the studio and record. There was a moment where I had to record some more things, so I went to Boston with Lay, but initially all of us had to record at different times in May, and we would just be on like call, like watching each other, giving each other feedback. It was definitely a lot harder because you don't get the full experience and you can't hear as well as in person, but you live and you learn.
because in January we recorded Forever one day and then Reset the next day, and for A Little Too Late, Heartbreak Repeat, we got time, we each recorded within one session. And that was like a lot of pressure because we had to record 3 songs, and A Little Too Late's very long, all the ad-libs, and we're not there for each other, so we can't even rotate, we have to go boom, 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 boom because of our schedule. But I'm honestly very proud that we got to accomplish that, in like our 6-hour sessions we recorded 3 songs by ourselves. So
We definitely, I think, a blessing in disguise is that we're finding all these new obstacles, these challenges that we can grow from as a group that spends a lot of time like away from each other, or like not in the same geographic locations. So I mean, I also take a little bit of ownership for a slight delay in the project because we started recording and then I got sick like the week that we were all in the studio, so there was a little bit of delay there too, and we're finding these ways that we have to kind of work around that. But you know, the album's coming, or the EP's coming out in a week, and I think we're still making really good time, and we're just really happy to be where we are.
We got time.
And I know you guys had a big hand in the creation of these tracks. So tell me a little bit about the story that you were wanting to show with this album.
Well, Reminisce really discusses, I guess you can think about it in any type of relationship, but it describes different points of a relationship. Each song has a story, and it's actually in order as well, and in opposite order as well, so regardless of if you start from the beginning or end, it'll make sense story-wise. All of us had a hand in writing, and it was definitely a very fun and new experience for all of us. We got to do a lot of writing sessions and hop on calls and just really be creative. That's something that I really wanted us to have in this project, is really show our creativity and send a message.
I think we really focused on, because of course you can get a love story out of this album as well, but also our backgrounds as former trainees wanting to pursue the idol life and investing so much time into something and so much love, and then what it's like to kind of let go of something that you've worked so hard for or invested so much into, you know, physically, emotionally, mentally, everything. And so there's a lot more than meets the eye with this album, and just really embracing, exploring that intersection was the best challenge, but also the most fun part of this whole project.
You know, We Got Time perfectly bridges the gap between K-pop and like American like boy groups, like better than I think I've heard any group do it. It's just like the perfect mix and blend of these two genres. So you know, what went into the writing of We Got Time, and what was kind of the vibe that you were trying to show through it?
That's the best compliment ever.
That was definitely our goal from the start, to really have that nice place equally with American and K-pop. In terms of writing,
for We Got Time and
Yeah.
Heartbreak Repeat, we came up with like the melodies
Yeah.
first, and I think Elaya came up with the chorus melody, right? For We Got Time?
no.
Oh.
We were, yeah. So initially we just got, you know, the backtracks first, and we went into a session, and I believe for both We Got Time and Heartbreak Repeat, well, which we'll talk about later, is We Got Time, I think it was around 5 hours. We were on call that we started working on the melodies and then the lyrics, and really making a demo for that song. It was just really fun to see how it came out. That was the first track that I had written for, so it was really fun to see a new side come out of me, because I usually write very sad lyrics, and that's my forte usually, very easily inspired by sadness. But for some reason I was able to write kind of flirty lyrics, which I did not expect from myself. But that's just we wanted a very fun, like pop, like roll down the windows, like car drive, like summer, beach, like just a very like song of the summer type of vibe. Something that's so chill that you can just put on and just have fun.
And we were noticing that each of our songs kind of had like a radio button kind of aspect to it, like a play, which is like Forever. There's the pause, which is We Got Time. You know, we kind of called it pause for like a month before we really knew what it was. You know, honestly, we have time. We have all the time in the world to get to know each other, all the time in the world to explore whatever this is.
And as the guys just said, like this time around, we were a lot more hands-on with the actual creative process, and I think you can hear that in kind of like or there's like a newfound kind of confidence that's growing in like them as writers, or even in the booth. Like something I was blown away from when I was hearing like their vocal takes. I was sitting there like unable to sing because I was sick, but like I heard the first vocal takes they did, and what I really love about this project and like how they recorded this project is their ad libs, which you guys will get to hear on especially on Little Too Late and Heartbreak Repeat. They go ham, and I was so proud. I think you can really hear the confidence oozing out, and I think it's only gonna go up.
Yeah, and Heartbreak Repeat, it has kind of like that R&B style, but it's if I had to choose a song that's more of that K-pop vibe, this is the one that I kind of get that sense of. But your vocals come together so perfectly. They just mesh so well. But for three people that live separately, how long did it take you guys to kind of blend and mesh as vocalists?
Was the biggest feedback that we got that we needed a little bit more time to like marinate, and like we noticed that even like amongst ourselves, because all three of us visually, sonically, performatively are so different. But I think just the more time that we spent together, since we have our own spheres of creative, vocal, performance, and yeah, I think it's just been gradual. I mean, I don't know what you guys think.
Like as Eddie said, the time we spent together, like especially in January, in March when the first when our first releases came out, when we're together, we also like there's nonstop singing. We love a little bit of karaoke. You're just like in the car, like annoying everyone else who's in the car with us. And I think every time we get to sing together, like just in person, we're figuring out new ways to blend our sound together, to do harmonies together, working on some harmonies that maybe needed a little bit of work, but they're clicking together. And as someone who loves singing, like as all three of us, as people who love singing so much, it's really the biggest joy every time we're in person.
I think also because we're working with a little bit more music styles, it forces us to sing in a different way, whether it's breathy, whether it's more bright, whether it's more closed off and like numbing the mouth in terms of kind of that pop style that people sing. So I think that's been a huge catalyst that forced us into really meshing all together. So hopefully we'll become more and more as one.
And then Little Too Late. I have to say, when I heard this song, I got literal full body chills when vocals first came in. It was just so like it's such a good song. I listened to it so many times. First of all, it's over 4 minutes long, which is insane these days. It's so full is the word I would use, and dynamic of a song. So I wanted to know like what went into the making of that. Why did you decide let's make it 4 minutes? I just want to know everything about this song because I'm absolutely obsessed with it.
This song is actually the only song that I think came out of our original like Rewind Vault of songs. I believe it was like around 1 year ago that Audrey and Lay were in New York, and Lay had played the piano and Audrey had started singing that there's this voice memo that we've been working with for a while, and then while we were making this EP, we were like, oh, let's use this. And then we kind of molded the song out of that voice memo that we had.
Because this song was originally going to be a very much like NSYNC, This I Promise You, or like a very Boyz II Men soulful song with like big
slower.
Piano, slower, grand piano chords and harmonies. But then we were like, what if we turn this into a dance track, second generation K-pop mixed in with 2000s pop as well? And your question about why 4 minutes, we were saying, why not 4 minutes,
Yeah, exactly.
right?
We love longer songs, and it was always our goal from the beginning to have a longer song. And I remember saying like, I hope with our next songs we can make like maybe like a 4 minute song. And our producers NEJ, when they started up and they sent us this track, it just kept on getting better and better and better and better, and so many new like verses and parts that nothing could be taken out, and everything was just perfect the way that it was, and the instrumental is just so beautiful, and just listening to it is an experience. It's very much like a huge book with so many different chapters and layers, and it really takes you places, both sonically and emotionally.
What I love about it is that it's kind of like a full musical almost in like a sense, and it gives you time to find closure. It doesn't just kind of cut off at like the end of the chorus. It just kind of wisps away, almost like how MTV songs, how they would kind of fade out at the end of like the music videos. But yeah, just to give the listener some closure.
Yeah, since I've been listening to the tracks on Google Drive since it's not out at this moment, like I'll be in the car and I just have it open next to me. So it stops and I just go over there and I hit play on Google Drive again because I am obsessed with this song. Like it's not a song
Me too, yes.
it's not a song you can get tired of because it is so dynamic and there's at every point there's kind of like a new verse, like a new style. So I'm so glad that you guys had that voice memo because this is like one of my favorite songs this year for sure.
Thank you so much. Oh my
Yeah, I'm
god.
obsessed. And Lay, actually, I wanted to talk about your rapping because are you the only one rapping on this album?
So Eddie wrote and rapped the first one in the middle in the second verse,
Yes.
and then we share a rap after the bridge.
Yeah, we would do a rap after the bridge, and then Lay's ad-libs in that bridge with his deep voice, blessed our ears, of course.
Yeah, because I want to talk about the rapping. Did you both have a history with that before Rewind, or is this something that you had to learn?
For me personally, when I first went to Korea, I was like finding my own voice still and reconciling with the fact that like in this industry, if you have like a lower voice, oftentimes they like people might put you in a rap position. But for me, that was kind of like a happy challenge because I loved doing it even before I went to Korea. And then when I got there, there were people who said that that was maybe my forte or like the position that I would have. And then earlier you asked about like what we do outside of Rewind. So the guys know that I have a publishing contract as a songwriter, and I've heard that that's also something that that I bring to the table. So I think for Rewind, we still have a lot of music to give, so there are going to be opportunities where you're going to hear us rapping, maybe even Elaya, but there are definitely going to be a lot of opportunities for us to hopefully show those different sides of us, more singing, more rapping, and for me, it's definitely something I loved doing already before coming to Rewind.
I think for me, my tone was very much hip-hop before joining Rewind. There was a lot of, our vibe isn't necessarily like swagger per se. It's definitely very like in here and just like letting it all out, So I definitely had to transition into that because I used to listen to Bobby a lot, and therefore if I see or learn or hear something, I can kind of pick it up fairly fast. So that was kind of like my style for a lot. It was too much for this group, and we all kind of like laugh about, like my rapping then. But yeah, I think I've always liked to write. I never fully practiced it, but I think something that I still kind of struggle with is because I kind of copy. I don't know what my own style is, and I think that's something that I'm still figuring out. But I think it's kind of cool that I get to try a lot of things. So hopefully, I'm hoping to just really settle on something that I can identify as myself in terms of my.
I heavily disagree with you. I think you have a very distinct style. You have a very unique vocal tone, and the way that you sing. If there's a way that I could mimic the way that you sing. That's how I know that you have a very specific tone and the way that you sing things and rap things as well. I feel like you have your own vocal and rap technique and tone.
Thank you.
And I think that it really they're so different, your rapping and your vocals, but I think that when they're on the track, and especially us as a group, I feel like it works very well and beautifully.
We definitely have an older kind of sound to our voices, which I think fit very well. And that's what I look up to about these two guys, is that they have such a unique and self-identifying sound. Because if you hear their voice on the track, you just know, you know who that is. And I hope that, listeners can be like, oh, that was Elias' part, that was Lay's part, that was Eddie's part. So that's something that I'm proud of, our individuality.
Yes. Sure. One thing though about our individuality as well, going back to our voices being different, sometimes Eddie's and I's, when we're singing together, it very much sounds like one person sometimes.
It does.
Our vocal mix is very our voices individually are so different, but then when they come together it sounds like one person. I'm like, wait, who is that?
Like the belted harmony.
Yes.
In It's Too Late to Say Goodbye.
Yes.
That part, I was like, oh, who's saying
Yeah,
that? And that was
even
goosebumps.
in Heartbreak Repeat, the harmonization, tell me that it's only me, not just a Heartbreak Repeat. I was like, wait, which one is which?
Also, like in our duo rap, that last line,
Yeah.
and because my voice is slightly higher, his voice is slightly lower, and just kind of seeing that parallel was kind of satisfying for me to hear.
I was gonna say, I think it's kind of like we have a, you know, with first like a group with only 3 members, it's kind of like there's the caveat of like, you like each member will have more lines, but at the same time like you have to have 3 people with really distinct voices, otherwise you're left with like voices that just sound the same. But for us, I think we're kind of like this kind of awesome like Venn diagram where we do have a little bit of crossover, but like crossover in the middle where all the circles are combined, but we really do have all this individuality to us. So there are definitely moments where you can hear us kind of like adapting to each other, but then sorry, then of course there are moments where you really just know it's this member's voice.
If you were going to add 2 more members, 2 established idols who have an established, style, to the group, what 2 idols would that be?
That's such
We've
a
actually
good
kind of
question.
talked about this
Yes.
a little bit.
Yes, because I mean, being in the whole process, I mean, from the start, and even Eddie and Lay, like, we have been a part also of like casting and seeing like, oh, could this person fit in auditions? And even when Eddie and Lay weren't here, there were other people that we were looking at, like, oh, could this person fit? And we'd even make like little like edits, like we'd like take selfies and see if we like had a harmonization visual.
Like,
Like, it's
cohesive.
really funny. Yeah, there's a photo somewhere of the 3 of us seeing if we like look good together. But
We
who do
were
you guys
looking.
think?
I remember when we were trying to figure out if we wanted to add 2 more members or not. We were looking for someone very much like a G-Dragon image. But I'm so curious how that would have gone down because I feel like that is very, very much different from a vibe.
Yes.
But who knows? So what? I don't know what to know.
Current idols.
I don't have an answer for this question at the moment, but one thing I was thinking about is something we actually just talked about last night, which is like one requirement I think for having for being in this group as a member that I'm sure I'm sure other artists can relate to, but other than like singing ability, dancing ability, like visuals, all of those things, like apart from that, there's a degree of trust that all 3 of us had to put into this kind of very unique process for forming like a K-pop inspired group. Like sort of like we were talking about how our parents have to like put trust into like into this like working out. I guess this is such a unique process that we can definitely imagine that some people would walk away or like not really be able to follow through, because there were times where it's tough to see how it's going to end, but that's definitely a requirement and the reason that we've gotten to where we are, because we trusted in each other and in the people who are behind this project, and we're really happy with where we are.
We were talking about last night and how I was like, wow, like thank God, like I'm even like surprised, but like thank you guys for like trusting Audrey. And I was like, wow, because in the beginning, like we really started like very like small.
We had a Discord and a dream.
Yeah, we had a Discord and a dream. And looking back last night, I was like, I'm so surprised that you guys stayed, and I'm like so grateful that you trusted Audrey and I with this, because like I can't imagine this project without you 2, and I'm just so grateful that you guys really gave us your trust and really saw this through.
But it speaks to what kind of person you are too.
Thank you.
And I also think that a great fit for our group would be Jungkook of BTS. I think would be great.
Do any of you have any ongoing or current hyperfixations, hobbies, or collections that you collect?
I'm about Pop Mart. I have like a Hirono collection.
You know what I started to do? There's a series called A Gift for You by Pop Mart. It's like these little like book boxes that open up and it turns into like this little like baby whatever flower scheme concept that it has, and I actually turned that into a jewelry tray for myself. So it kind of splits open, and I have like a cherry blossom theme and I just put like my rings on that. So that's just what I've been doing. But anyway, sorry, continue. I was really excited to share that.
I've personally been getting like almost like annoying myself at how kind of obsessed I've been with Major League Baseball recently. Because I played baseball as a kid, and then I got back into it after going to a game last summer, and I pull out my phone, check scores a little bit too often.
Is there a TV show or a movie that kind of shaped your personality growing up?
I'm gonna say I'll just say High School Musical for me. That was definitely a very pivotal moment the first time I saw High School Musical.
For me, this is a very interesting take, but I think I learned a lot from The Office, especially when I was trying to get more into acting, because it was so like realistic, but so realistically unbelievable at like the comedy and like the takes that would show up on that show, and you know, because comedy's rooted in truth, and just kind of studying like the beats, like every breath that a character would take. You know, even working at a boring paper office, I learned a lot from in terms of acting. But I have to think about more about my personality.
I think it showed a lot of people I like friends like us as adults that we talked about that was really with us through our formative years. Avatar: The Last Airbender. I think there were so many lessons from that show that still stick with us as people, no matter how old you are.
And then what is your current favorite trend that you love, or is there one like popular trend that you cannot get behind whatsoever?
I'm gonna be honest, I love Coke Zero. I love Coke Zero, but a pet peeve is when people make Coke Zero their personality. You know what I mean? Like everything Coke Zero. I don't know, but I don't know.
Now, is that Coke Zero though, or is that Diet Coke though? Because I feel like the Diet Coke people, those are the rough ones.
Yeah.
I think so as well, because they like Diet Coke for the taste. And I'm like, oh, you like water with Coke inside it?
So I like Diet Coke.
Oh, you do?
If there is one food trend that I've been getting behind though, I don't know how when the trend started or if it actually is a trend, but my little sister got this pack of like they're frozen grapes, but they're like covered in like they have like lemon and just covered in sugar. So those are really great. But you can also just freeze like what are the specific types of like the green grapes that are a little bit larger? Any type of green grape, stick it in the freezer and overnight, and it basically becomes like little sorbet balls. Those are probably the revelation of my summer, of my 2025 summer.
And I mean, I love me a Dubai chocolate. I do love me a Dubai chocolate. Laboos, what do y'all think about Laboos?
I was about to ask that. K-pop fans, I don't know, it's like a discourse between the fans on which idols like and don't like them. So yeah, opinions.
I'm neutral on him. I wanted one before like it was going crazy. I got one of the Big Into Energies, kind of just like, okay, let me see. I got one and it just sits in my room. So I'm neutral with it. I'm not obsessed with it. I'm not a hater. I'm just like, okay, Laboos.
I have yet to experience my first Labubu, but I'm not jumping.
I ironically and hypocritically have a Coca-Cola Laboos, which is my bad.
Diet Coke Labubu.
I think some people can have very unhealthy relationships with their Laboos where it just kind of like consumes like their life. Because I see people buy boxes and they like cry, you know. I'm like, oh, I mean, it's good to see them happy, but you know, it's definitely interesting.
Yeah. I can't lie. I did at a certain point want that secret Labubu, like the black and gray one. I did at a certain point was like, ooh, I want that one. But I mean, I'm still down. I'd like it, but
if anyone wants to send it to you, you know, he will not stop you whatsoever.
I'll take it.
I think that pocket culture is very cute. I don't know if that's what it's called, but just kind of like the things that you can clip onto your bag, so you can take, and you can have like a little mini little relationship with the like photo card holder.
As much as I love talking about Laboos and everything else, getting into my last question, going back to the album, for someone who may be checking you out for the first time on the 8th when this drops, pitch this album to them and why they need to check it out, check you guys out.
One thing that I believe that we did like amazingly, our whole team and producers, really cultivating this EP is I believe that there's really something for everyone, and there's different genres and sounds for everyone as well. So like if maybe you're not a fan of this, you will find something else on this EP that you will like. So I feel like it's very well rounded, and there's a lot of things that maybe you'll like all of them, maybe you'll like one, maybe you don't like one, but you'll definitely like another one. There's a lot of different types of sounds and vibes in the song that I feel like a lot of people will like and relate to.
I think from the creative process of or like knowing the creative process behind most K-pop tracks that come out nowadays, I think usually you have so many people, so many high up people in a label involved with the creation of a track. For these tracks in this album, it really is it's the Discord and a Dream album. Like we have the ideas of three guys, and then our director and our small group of producers and writers who have really made these tracks from our heart. And I guess like rather than doing like market analysis and like following trends, they really are just songs that we wanted to put out because we really like how they came out and how we recorded them. So on that level, there's maybe like a little bit of relatability to this music, and I think that will connect with the listeners.
And if I could have a pitch, if I were to pitch this on Countdown, I would say we are Rewind, the first ever all Asian American pop group based in the US, and our mission is to blend both Western and Eastern pop sounds to form our own identity as Asian American artists. And in our new album Reminisce, coming out August 8th, is a full story about our relationship with our craft, our whatever love story you can think of as well. You'll get a full story, and the order is the order for a reason as well. So I hope you can get a little bit of everything in our first ever debut EP album.
Perfect way to end it, because blending both cultures is perfectly done with this album. So I'm so excited to see everyone's reactions to it. And congrats again on debut, and congrats on your first EP.
Thank you
Thank
so
you
much
for taking the time.